Welcome everyone to the Parks Committee meeting on May 2nd at the Lakeville Police Station. Is there anyone other than LakeCAM recording at the meeting tonight? Okay, we're gonna go to Peter Murdy for any announcements from the clerk.
I actually have two tonight. I just wanted to let you know that on Tuesday, a woman by the name of Susan Johnson came by the office to donate this.
I know Paula fell in love with it as soon as she saw it.
It's a very lovely
Ted
picture
Williams.
of Ted. So to add to the collection, so a thank you to Susan Johnson for that. I'll be sending a thank you from the Park Commission for that. And then also a young high school student named Will Horton from Apponequet High School apparently raised some money with a pickleball tournament and donated $100 to the park for pickleball nets.
That was very nice
So
of him.
a thank you to Will and his friends who came with him, Ethan Ring and Will LeWalt.
Yes, very nice kids. So once again, thank him very much, and we will use that money for another, put it towards hopefully a pickleball net. All right, we're supposed to meet with Miss Brittany Lepori about her interest in becoming a park commissioner, but she is not here yet, so we will skip to item 3, to meet with Doug Berry to discuss and possibly vote on Clear Pond Park fees. So Peter, you gave us all the fees that we had from last year. You want to run down them and go over what?
Sure. The only thing, it's pretty self-explanatory. There was a little bit of a discrepancy at the last year in May. We voted, the first column is the fees we actually voted. There must have been some miscommunication between us and Doug. And so most of them were what you actually charged Doug, but I think the actual fees were for the non-resident guests and children were 10 and 5, if I recall correctly. It's not a big deal, but
it looks like there was a big discrepancy in the swim fees.
there was, yeah.
Hey, if you could get the $75, $50, $40 for swim lessons, I say we go with that.
Yeah, that's what we had done, not last year, but the years
In the
before
past.
that.
Yeah.
Right. But I think we went with 50, 40, 30 last year.
That's not what we took in.
Would we take into?
It was 75,
Right,
40, 50 and 40, I'm pretty sure.
okay.
Yeah, I can check my records, but I can swear that it was 50, 40, 30.
How does that get billed out?
What we do is it gets spilled out at the, on the slip, on the form that we have, the daily receipts form. It gets put right down the bottom.
So people sign up for them, obviously.
Yes.
And they pay weekly, monthly, daily, what?
They come in and pay for the year. We give 6 weeks, 2 classes a week.
Okay.
Total 12. And
Okay.
they have to test.
So they pay up front.
Right.
All right, so, Peter says we charge the 75, 50, 40, which I'm sure we did. Any thoughts on Doug?
Well, I didn't know why it was.
On those fees?
Yeah, I myself, I didn't know why it was 50, 40, 30, because it had gone up to 75, 50, 40.
Okay,
So were we staying at that this year?
Because, yes,
Yeah,
as I
I
went
guess we're all
around and
comfortable
did the
with
different
that.
places, Middleborough Y and all
Okay.
those, that's pretty
So
much
it's 70,
the
50,
same.
40, Doug.
Yeah.
Thank
did
you.
we do a lot of lessons last year?
We get about 25, 24, 23 in that vicinity.
Is that standard,
Yes,
yearly?
it used to be about 150, but
Wow, I guess that's
because
strong.
everybody has pools and all that stuff now.
Okay, so let's just get to, so what we're gonna do with these Clear Pond fees is we're gonna look at the season passes, the guest passes and everything that we did last year for, we're gonna do residents, non-residents, but then we're also going to come up with a fee for anybody we invite from out of town, whether it's Middleborough, Freetown,
Yeah.
which hasn't been approved. I will be on the select board agenda on Monday.
Mhm.
So in case it is approved, we can go advertise for those fees immediately, and if not, then we'll just leave it the way it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
So any discussion or ideas on the fees, Paula?
For none?
For right now, for season pass
No.
for residents?
No, unless Doug thinks it should be raised, I would go with what he works with.
We went up $10 last year, so that was a good, and as far as what it kind of boils down to is, are we meeting, monies that we need to get at the end of the year?
Out of debt.
And,
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, we're, with the select board money, we're $17,000 short, and without it, we'll be $35,000 short. So I don't think you're gonna make that up by
Right,
charging
yeah.
10 extra dollars on a swim
Right,
pass.
right. Yep. We did about 100 and, Peter would know, 115, 117
Yeah.
passes in that
That's
vicinity.
About that.
Which is good.
And
When do we start signing, have people sign up?
The very first day we're open.
Well, they buy their passes online, right? They,
Right, and they
Okay.
can buy their passes online previous to that.
Oh, that's my point.
Yes.
so
Yes.
we should start putting it
Yeah.
online when?
well, I wouldn't do that until it's
Well-
unfortunate that we don't know if we're out of town or not, because we could advertise at Lakeville Day. We could put it out there, but we
Yeah.
can't put it out there till we know.
Right.
Because it would be horrible to put it out there and say residents only, and then get all the hate emails and hate
Right.
Facebook messages, and then be like, all right, Freetown and Middleborough can come.
It was 107 passes.
107.
Okay, so, blanket wise, season pass 2024, we're going to keep it at 110?
I would.
I think so.
We do not
You
need to.
agree with that?
We do not need to vote on that, do we? I don't think so.
Well-
We can do a blanket vote once
Yeah.
we're all done?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. Resident adult guests, $8 last year. Any,
That's fine.
do we
Do
have a
we have a
lot?
lot of people bringing guests? No?
No.
Yeah.
What if we said
10?
season passes can bring guests? What happens if we allow Middleborough and Freetown in? Are they allowed to bring guests? But if you said only season passes could bring guests, then it doesn't matter.
That's a good point.
Yeah. If we do go to non-residents coming in, I would strongly recommend that it has to be under a family pass. Not, they can't come in at a daily rate.
That's what we were thinking.
Right.
I'm gonna put this on hold for a second. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Brittany?
Yes.
Can you come up, please, and sign in? We're going to, stop what we're doing on, so you don't have to wait around, and you can just,
Oh, I don't mind. I don't want to interrupt your
no,
evening.
that's okay, because this is gonna take a little bit.
Oh.
So everyone, this is Brittany Lepori. She lives on Taunton Street in Lakeville. She wrote a note to us saying that she had interest on the Park Commission. Been a resident homeowner of Lakeville for 3.5 years, currently enrolled in Bristol Community College's Office Administration, Executive Administrative Assistant Program. That's a lot of words. So when you're done, just tell us a little bit about yourself and
you
your
don't
interest.
entertain with
Yeah, no, I want to get to Brittany.
okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Just tell us your interest in the parks and,
Yep, I mean, I just, looking to get involved in the community. Kind of get some hands-on experience in my new field and just kind of get in there, get my hands dirty. Tracy had mentioned that it was the Parks Commission that was looking for someone kind of the most. You guys were in need, so I was like, okay, I'm there.
do you understand how the Parks Commission works in town?
I
or-
don't. This would be completely new to me. So, I mean, if that's guys don't kind of have time for that, I completely understand
No,
the
no,
hard
you
feelings,
can't.
but I'm a quick
Yeah,
learner,
yeah.
so it's not like you'll have to go over it again and again.
Yeah, we don't mind throwing you into the fire, it'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, and we have a little orientation package in the office, just a brief history and.
Oh, okay.
And generally what we do, some of the questions that are asked, not everything.
Yeah.
It couldn't possibly put everything in there, but at least it might help you.
Okay, cool. That's a good start.
We're just elected officials who volunteer.
Right.
We're all the same, level, nobody,
Yeah.
so we all work together here.
Yep.
We kind of assign ourselves different projects to work with different leagues.
Okay.
We're pretty much involved, could be day to day, week to week. There's a lot to do, even in the small season, because you have to invite people to talk to you, set fees.
Right.
We have some employees, we have a full-time director to Clear Pond, so there is a lot of administrative. Peter works for us too.
Mm-hmm.
So you will get involved.
Okay.
It's a great organization, that's why we're here. Paul has been here a while, he's been here and she's been a chair, so it's fun. It really is, because we all care about the parks, otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Right.
And our parks generally that we spend time with are Chad Williams, we have Clear Pond, John Pond. They're all very busy during this time.
Yes.
So, Paula, any questions?
No, I wondered if she came on board, could she also rotate so she could see what Doug does? That's more of an administrative, management thing, and Melissa is with Clear Pond.
Okay.
Maybe
Well, it's something we can discuss once,
Yeah.
Yeah, hop around. That's fine.
you're
once you're
open
on
to a
board.
lot of things.
Yes, yes, I have free time, so I'm only in school right now, so.
Ti-
And this
until
summer I
when?
only have
Only in
3
school?
classes. I'm sorry?
Only in school?
Oh, yeah, exactly, so.
Until when?
Depending on if I continue full-time, it will be until spring, would be my last semester if I continue full-time.
Are you out of school in June or?
No, I'll have 3 classes this summer, 1 for the whole summer and 2 for the back end of the summer, which none of those will start until June. So this week is my last week.
And they're daytime courses?
They're all online courses all summer.
okay.
So like I said, I don't have to be anywhere.
I'm sorry, anyone know, is this a 2-year term?
No, it's a
Just a one-
appointment, so it's till the
1
end of the
year.
term, so
Got
it'll
it.
go till next April.
All right,
Yeah, and then
so-
I think I have to be elected.
You'd have to
then,
run again.
Tracy
Yeah.
mentioned, yeah.
Okay, anyone have any, Melissa, any questions?
No, I think this is a good place to get your feet wet, and if she took on capital projects, she'd be working with other administrative assistants, so that would be perfect for her.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
easy, capital project. Okay, do we want to take a vote?
No, not right now.
Not right now? Okay. We'll be in touch.
Okay.
Our next step is that we'll have a vote, and then we're gonna make a recommendation to the select board, who will make the final decision.
Okay,
But we'll be in touch,
okay, awesome.
okay?
Let me know if there's anything else y'all need from me or if there's something I can do.
Thank you
you.
very much for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thanks for
Thank you,
your,
I'm sorry. Have a good evening.
You
thanks for your
Thank you.
interest. Bye.
Okay, back to, Doug.
Do you want to, Fire Chief?
Fire chief, are you here for an inspection?
No. I saw the agenda item, I figured I'd just sit here in case you needed me.
Finish?
Huh?
Should we let Doug finish?
I'll ask the board here, do we want to finish with Doug and then
I'm
skip?
not in any rush, so.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Okay, then we might as well finish with Doug.
we'll finish with Doug. All right, so we were at resident adult guest and we said we would be okay at $8.
Well, we were deciding whether to let every resident bring guests,
Oh,
or
yes,
just
yeah.
season pass bring guests, or out of town people bring guests if they have a season pass.
In the past, didn't any resident, even if they came on a day pass, were allowed to bring a guest?
Yes. Any resident could bring a pass,
Yeah. So, that being said, if the resident brings a guest, was the fee different? It was,
Yeah,
was it 10 or
yeah,
it was 10?
yeah, the non-resident adult guest.
Yeah,
But if
Okay.
they brought a guest that was
The season pass?
was a resident, then they paid. No.
No?
Resident adult guest. What does that mean? That means a resident who lives here got to come for $8.
They would be each time they come.
Uh-huh.
And all their guests would pay $8.
So that's really just resident adult. It's
Right.
Resident child and resident. Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
Not,
The
yeah.
guest was throwing me.
Yeah.
So then
That's an $8 fee.
if the resident adult came and brought 2 non-resident children, that would be $5 each. But if their resident was in Lakeville, then it would be, well, it's a kid, so $5 each. But if it was an adult, it would be $2 difference.
And just a question on the resident adult guest pass. How many were we allowing for, was it per household? Were we allowing like 4?
Usually it's 4, but we kind of, you have to kind of like waiver it because some people have, you know,
Right.
a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old,
Yeah.
a 5-year-old, and an
Yeah.
8-year-old.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So,
as long as they didn't get into like 10, 8.
yeah, so you kind of
Yeah.
monitor that,
Yeah.
okay.
So the kids are the gatekeepers, right?
Yes.
So they know what to do when they
Yes.
come in.
Yeah. They have all these fees in front of them,
Okay.
and they're all we have that daily. We have a daily sign up where they check each person off, and we go from there, and all the fees are right on that too. So.
Do they check the addresses when they come in?
Yes, they do. They check their licenses for Lakeville residents at that particular time. Yeah.
They still do that?
Yeah.
All right, so is 8 our figure?
Did we go up last year?
Doesn't show it.
No, it just shows,
Just so it shows this past year. Yeah, I would keep it at 8 and 5, adult and child.
all right, so child, we're good. Resident child 2 and under, still free. Resident veteran and senior, free. Quick question, what do we constitute a senior? What age?
60 usually.
Is
In
it 60?
Massachusetts,
Yeah.
it's considered.
60.
Okay.
It's anybody who walks up and says, yeah, I'll take the senior rate.
Yeah.
You can do that at Trukey's.
Yeah.
All right, next is the non-resident adult. And that's guest, but it's just non-resident adult, right?
Mm-hmm.
We voted for 9 and
Yeah, I
Peter
have
said
to
the
check.
actual is 10.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to, I mean, obviously Peter knows, but I want to make sure that just,
I think it was 10 that we,
We think I know, you know, sometimes I think I know, I don't.
Well, we talked
I'm
about,
just-
we did the 9 and 6 figuring that they would get ones back and they would spend it on miniature golf or pizza or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have no problem with the 10 and 5, and if it's easier on the kids
This
that
is
are
a
there.
copy of what we used last year.
Yeah.
Let's use 10 and 5. And that's
just
what
why we don't have to
said.
carry change,
Well, you'd still have to carry change.
Yeah, the
but-
75.
a lot of different ones.
So,
Yeah. Was this last year?
here's a photocopy. It's got my name on it, so.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
All right, so we'll just
So-
continue that.
So anyway,
Alright.
but it was 10, the 10 and 5.
Yeah,
So,
And what about a non,
I think what I did is I.
so,
copied
so are we
Out of town
keeping it at 10 or, for the, non-resident adult?
yeah, you can't go down, right?
Right,
No,
well,
no.
I saw the 9 posted and I'm like, which did we do? So it's $10 for non-resident adult
And
guest.
then $5 we'll keep for the child,
Uh-huh.
free for the 2 and under. Veteran and senior still at 5, and we're going to.
For non-resident,
Yes, sorry, which is, and then as far as the swim lessons, we're just gonna go with that figure that you did.
The 75, 50, 40.
Okay. Okay, now to the next step.
can I just make sure I've got this copy down properly? So I have, season pass, 110,
Mhm.
resident adult 8, resident child 5,
Mhm.
resident child under 2 free,
Mhm.
veteran and senior free,
Mhm.
non-resident adult 10,
Mhm.
non-resident child 5,
Mhm.
non-resident child under 2 free,
Mhm.
and non-resident veteran and senior 5.
Yep, and then the swim lessons are standard.
75, 50, 40.
Got it.
All right.
All right, so we're going to discuss fees for non-residents. If we open up to other towns, this will be contingent on a vote by the select board. So this will be, when was the last time we allowed other towns?
It would go back to 2008,
Was
7,
it,
6.
was it before COVID?
Oh, yes.
Way before COVID.
Way before COVID.
Right, so
I
it
don't.
changed when, Mr. LaCamera was in,
Uh-huh.
and I forget, exactly.
Do you happen to remember the delta in between residents and non-residents? Was it 30%, 40%? I mean, I'm just trying to get an idea of what the difference is. Maybe not gonna make a huge difference in this, but I'm just trying to figure out.
To try to go back before it was opened up to everyone is probably about 2007, 2008.
Okay.
And at that time, we were, it worked out fairly well, but not many people still at that particular time were aware of Clear Pond for non-residents and so forth.
Right.
So, but what happened was when it got opened up to everyone, it became, people that wanted to buy, non-resident family passes.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really do that. They just came in and paid the daily rates.
So, when you said non-resident, it was open up to everybody in Massachusetts?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Or-
we're not going to obviously
Right.
recommend that.
Right.
So I guess we gotta figure out a way to get all these fees to add up to 17.5 for the non-residents. I think we can figure that
Yeah.
out. I think that's the way to go. So any thoughts on the board here of where we should start and what we think the fair price would be for non-residents?
Well, first of all, I think we have to define the non-residents that are.
The towns.
That are gonna be coming into the park. And we were thinking on the line of Freetown and Middleborough. Because we share not only the schools, but we share Middleborough's pools. They don't charge us extra to use it. And I think that we needed to start there before we open
Sure.
it up to the world.
Sure. I would agree.
Is that where we're getting questions from on Facebook, people from Freetown and Middleborough?
Yes,
Mostly Middleborough, but yeah.
Middleborough?
especially Middleborough, yeah. Some Freetown, but mostly Middleborough.
So is that what we wanna do, go under the premise that we're doing Freetown, Middleborough?
I would like that, I don't know
Yeah.
about, yep.
Okay,
Are you,
Yes.
okay with that?
Yes.
it's gonna get a little tricky.
Unless you recommended another town.
Yeah. No?
So, sorry. So we're gonna do a season pass for non-residents, obviously,
Mhm.
and then we're gonna work down. So if a non-resident wants to bring a guest, it's gonna be a separate fee as it would for Lakeville people? Are we going to keep that the same guest fee as, I'm just thinking before we go.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? Paul? What's
Season
that?
passes for non-residents were usually more by about $25 at least. So we were looking a couple of years ago about 140, but that never happened because we couldn't invite non-residents, but I don't know how that fits.
Well, my question was, if a non-resident with a pass brings a guest, is their guest fee higher than what a Lakeville person would?
Yeah, I think.
I would think so.
So if it's 8 for a resident, then it would be obviously more for a
Well,
guest.
Why wouldn't you do the non-resident guest fee? A non-resident guest. Like if a Middleborough person has a season pass and they're bringing guests, they should pay the non-resident guest fee.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
reasonable, isn't it?
Oh, which is
This
10.
is $10.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
All right, so we need to figure out what our difference is gonna be. In your talking to people, but my concern is how many do we think from your experiences, or how many people do we think would sign up for something like this?
I don't think we can answer that. How are we gonna know that?
Well, I think only because I'm sure he gets a lot of feedback and people saying, I'm just kind of trying to think out the box, but we have to come up, do we want to put a cap on it in the first place?
Well, I think you need to set a fee, because if you set a fee at $125, everybody's gonna buy a pass. If you put a fee of $200, maybe not everybody's gonna buy a pass.
Well, do we want more people at a lower rate and cap it than less people at a higher rate? Because that'll help with swim lessons, it'll help with the concession stand with the more people we have. We just have to cap how many
Yeah.
non-resident
Look at all
passes
that.
what we would.
All that's to live, yeah.
So I'm just thinking,
Right.
if we get more people at less money, and we can cap it.
I know that there are a lot from Middleborough, as you said, that would be, you know, I don't know if it would go up 25 families. It might be in that range somewhere.
So if, say we had the same amount of people last year, resident season pass, which is how many?
110-ish.
110.
Yeah, 110.
So
so.
what would be comfortable for more season passes? Would you double it? Would you say 50% of it so that you don't think it's too busy? So I'm just trying to get an idea
Yeah,
of what you think would make it manageable, because you know the busy days and so forth.
it's.
Not that everybody comes.
Right, right. And we felt very comfortable with the Lakeville residents, but we could have more in there because we do need to bring in more money. I think that going with family passes, it will generate, like you said, at the concession stand and swim lessons and with the games and so forth like that.
All right, well, let's come up with a rate. Any suggestions
For a non-resident guest?
for a season pass?
I
For
would
a
do
season.
200.
What?
I would do $200. If you have two adults, right, paying $10 each, that's $20. And if a $200 season pass is $20 a week, so if the family came every other week, that would be $200.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, and under that season pass for non-residents, are they going to have X amount of family members too included in this?
Right.
Like maybe 4 or something?
Yes.
So we'd have to follow the same rules.
have to
as
follow
residents.
the
We have to follow the
Yeah.
same rules as residents,
Right.
because they are paying
Right.
a premium.
I just wanted to clarify it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the way we go now, if you go out to dinner, you spend 100 and whatever, you know. And I think Clay Pond offers an awful lot for a very nominal fee, because they can go 7 days a week, every single day,
Yeah.
and it's 8 hours a day, and it's a great place for the youngsters to feel safe
And you have
have
good
fun,
programs.
and families go there, right? And they'll spend days there.
So,
What? I'm sorry.
do you, so you really want to charge 200?
I really do.
I agree 100%,
Yes.
100%.
Okay,
I
I'm
would
floored,
too.
but I'm fine with it.
I'm
If
shocked that
they
the
think
listener
that,
usually goes lower.
if
Right.
people will buy into it for $200, I
Fine.
agree.
It's a
I mean,
great-
I know they pay $100 for a pair of sneakers, so.
Yes, they do.
You can't go to a movie for that, and that's
Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we will vote on this, but we will go with
Questionable 200.
200, and we're going to leave so if they bring guests, it's gonna be the same price as as we do with the non-resident guests. We're gonna follow, what are we gonna do? Same thing with non-resident, veteran and senior, so everything else is just gonna stay the same as a non-resident on the other.
Yeah.
Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Yeah, That's fair.
FYI, just looking at the minutes from last year, the vote was that a family pass would cover up to 6 people from the same household.
Okay,
Well,
that's reasonable.
Yeah,
That's what,
Well, from the same household, yes.
yeah.
Right.
Not answered, of course, and so forth.
No, but if
We-
you
we
live with
always-
your parents or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if we wanna add something in as addendum in there, because people would come up and they would say, well, my 35-year-old is living with us now, can he come on a pass, and,
Or if the babysitter or things.
right, the babysitter. Yeah, usually, like, grandmother coming, we don't charge for them anyway, so we kinda let that go, but, we did have to deal with, you know, they're married, they come in, they're living with us, they're living in our household. Can they come in, but they're full-time workers,
Do they have a resident, established with the parents, is that it?
well, yes, for example, somebody moves home and they're there
Right.
for the summer.
Right.
And if they have proof of residence with the
Uh-huh.
parents, I think that's reasonable.
Like, that's kind of,
Yeah,
but
But
I'm sure it
it's-
doesn't happen, but that's a kind of a decision that you need to make.
right,
Because if they show up, you're not gonna,
right. We always kind of went the idea of mom, dad, and no, not today, with the adults, the 2 adults and, their children. That's kind of, it wasn't the you adults and your grown-up children,
Oh,
you know? So, if you want us to include them in as their family,
Yeah.
then, but, and this is another instance that would happen, they would come in with their family,
Oh, okay,
you know? They'd have their,
I see.
it's mom and dad, and they'd have theirs, and then there'd be another mom and a dad
So-
with their kids,
Okay.
and they'd have, you know, I suppose if we just stayed with the 6 and then had to pay extra after that.
Yeah.
why
then it
change it?
might cover that all.
And that's a good idea.
Right.
Does anyone wanna make a motion?
Sure. I
No,
make
excuse me, after the 6, what is it gonna cost per person?
whatever the non-resident fee is.
Right, so if they had extra kids, it would be $5, because I would think that they would want their adults covered on the pass.
Okay.
And they
Yes.
just pay for the extra kids.
All right. All right, we can do that.
That seems fair.
Yep.
Paula, did you wanna make a motion?
Sure. I
So
make
we're gonna make a motion on the,
a season pass.
on the resident and then the non-resident, as far as season passes go.
Okay, so we make a motion that we charge $200 for season pass for non-residents and a family, that covers a family of 6. Children, anyone after 6 in the household has to pay whatever the non-resident fee is.
You also wanna make a motion on the Lakeville resident that we just discussed too, because we have to approve that.
You asked for 2 motions.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
so let's,
I'll
Go ahead.
second.
she's.
Any discussion?
who
Vote.
who seconded it?
I did.
Melissa, vote.
Aye.
Paula?
Aye.
Michael Smith, aye.
It's your turn to make next.
Oh. I motion that we keep all the rates the same as last year.
With-
Swim lessons 75, 50, 40. And season passes for residents will be 6 people and any others will have to pay the resident rate
Yeah, and that included the adult guests for $10.
that's the non-resident.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, non-resident.
Second? Paula, you gonna second?
I second it.
Okay. Roll call vote, Melissa?
Aye.
Paula?
Aye.
Michael Smith, aye. So, our Clear Pond fees are done. Next thing on the agenda is review of Clear Pond Park job applications. Melissa, do you wanna bring that up?
Well, Doug has already, most of these kids have already worked with us in the past. And he's already made his recommendations.
Okay.
Do you want me to read down and you can,
Mhm.
yes? Caroline Bossiter, Luke Combs, Caitlin Glevey, Ashley McDonald, Aaron Procaccini, Ethan Ring, Travis Smith, and Xavier Tan. Were those all the ones?
Mhm.
And then Joe Procaccini, I assume that he is Aaron's brother, and
Yes.
are we taking him too?
He,
Fills in?
yeah, he would be one that, we need one to fill in.
They live right across the street from
Right,
Clear Pond.
right.
Are they like a per diem or part-time or?
It would be definitely part-time.
Yeah, well, they're all hourly.
Yeah, yeah.
And are you gonna need to interview him because he hasn't worked here before?
I, I, I personally feel very confident in that, but if we need to go through an interview process. we
Do you
can
know
that.
him?
Yes, I had him in school.
Okay, so you're comfortable with him.
Right.
I'll check with Lacey and ask her,
Okay.
but did
It's-
anybody have a chance to look over all their applications?
Mm-hmm.
I just have one question. Are all of your lifeguards 40 hours now?
No, they're not, but they are full-time. They're either 36, 38, or 40.
Okay, and the same with
Right.
attendance? Well, no, they're not, well, they're not,
The attendance will be 40 hours.
they will be.
Yeah,
I noticed they all asked for a little time off. We're good with that time?
yeah.
Okay.
And,
I made that change. Last year, we tried to expand our core, and then it just creates, because some people want to work full-time, some people, don't, but when you're putting it all together, there's only a certain amount of hours that you can get.
right,
And so I felt it was a good time to go back to the way we were. The reason why I have to go 36 and 38 is because of the fact that we have a 12 to 6 shift
mm-hmm,
instead of we have a 10 to 6 shift and a 12 to 6 shift. We used to go 12 to 8.
and that's for lifeguards or for attendance?
Those are for both.
That's the
For
park
both.
hours.
Yeah, that's to cover the park hours. So when you add up the hours into there, some are 36, some are 38. I think 3 of them are 40. The ones that teach the swimming lessons are there for 40. So,
Can I ask, when they applied, were we able to ascertain whether there's gonna be any vacations this summer, and were you comfortable with that?
after looking at the vacations there,
Most of them say none scheduled.
right,
And then there's some that do have it, so you can plan.
right.
Thank you.
Right. I know in today's world, we have to kind of, ideally, I'd love everybody just to work every day they're supposed to work, they're assigned to work, because we're only open
Yeah.
for 9 weeks, but it just doesn't quite go with the way.
But at least you know ahead of time.
Right, right.
In the 70s, we had to.
Yes, we did.
Now, is Xavier an attendant or a lifeguard?
He's going to, I did talk to him, he's taken his lifeguard, and
Okay.
he's going to become a lifeguard.
Okay,
Right.
because there's only one attendant, because
There's-
the lifeguard shift.
Right.
There's one at the top that's gonna be doing both, right?
Yeah, Joe.
Oh,
they're
excuse me,
filling.
Yeah.
two, so.
But also, like, this is what we did last year is, Luke and Aaron were, they lifeguarded, 2 days, and they were, attendants for 3 days. And, that gave them the
Coverage.
hours that they needed. Cause
So-
I'd rather have them working 5 days a week
Yeah,
than, working a couple days, and
where it's kind of,
Yeah. we have to make it
Broken up.
profitable for them too.
Right.
We have to take care of them.
yeah,
I'm sorry, does all of these applications fulfill your needs?
Yes.
So they get approved, they're all good.
I did try, there was a couple that, one that worked last year, I tried texting, I tried calling, we had another person try to get a hold and haven't been able to get a hold of them at all, and they haven't put in an application even or anything, so.
Okay.
I make a motion to accept Joe P, Caroline B, Luke C, Caitlin G, Ashley M, Aaron P, Ethan R, Travis S, and Xavier T I recommended that, motion to recommend them for
Employment.
employment for Clear Ponds for the 2024 season.
Just for the record, there's 9. Is that what you've got?
Yep, 9.
And was Lucas Beauregard, recommended?
No.
There was no, it's blank.
What's that?
The first,
I don't know who Lucas.
B is?
No,
Oh, okay.
I know they applied,
Right, but all the positions were
but all the
already.
positions, we've
Okay.
already met what we need to.
Okay.
By adding all the extra hours onto everybody, it's.
Yeah,
it's-
yeah. So his name is there because he was an applicant.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Are you in a second? Paul?
I second the motion.
Okay. Melissa?
Discussion?
Oh, discussion, I'm sorry. Thank you. No discussion? Melissa?
Aye.
Paula?
Aye.
Michael Smith, aye. And that is it with Doug.
Well, actually, before we let Doug go, if nobody minds, I would like to move Brian Day's requests up where he has so many for Clear Pond.
That is not a problem.
Which one is,
It's the letter that Brian sent to Lorraine and myself, and I forwarded to you guys about Clear Pond Park, because you remember at the meeting, we had Paula.
I'm trying to find the.
Peter, do you have an extra copy of this perchance for Doug?
I can have my copy.
You get it?
Is it this one?
It's this one.
Yeah. It's just that, you know.
Okay, Melissa, you wanna-
Yeah, well, first I'd like to start by saying I watched that select board meeting and I was very disappointed. We had asked the select board, we voted on September 21st to unanimously to ask the select board for $25,000 in ARPA money to get an engineered plan done on Clear Pond Park. And Ari went to Environmental Partners Escape and got a estimate on what it would cost to have that done. And it was the $25,000. So that's what we asked for. And it was supposed to be on the 10/10 select board agenda, but it was not. And then it kind of just got kicked down the road. So for this to show up now, when there's nothing we can do about
Yeah,
it, when it had shown up in October, we could have worked on it and gotten it done. But now it's the 11th hour and that's not gonna happen.
Well, I had asked them if they received anything,
Yeah, I know.
and they said no, and I was surprised, so,
Yeah, I asked, Brian
So,
Day.
Because we'll start on the Clear Pond Park. Remove the failed playground at Clear Pond Park. I'm assuming he means the one on the beach, which
in the
is
water,
in the works, like we're getting that removed.
right,
You mean under the trees there next to the fence? Is that?
No, the one
No.
that's literally in the
in the
water.
The one on the beach.
Oh, yes, yes,
Which
yes.
is not an invitation, but it looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
Frank
okay.
said, when you're ready, he'll move it, just give him some time.
Yeah, well, it's literally in the water.
Still in the water, yeah, but just give him a heads up.
Remove all trash and debris from Clear Pond Park. Quite frankly, that's insulting that's even there, that like we would open Clear Pond Park without removing all the trash and debris from it. Grading drainage of main parking lot and entryway. How many years has Bill Apollo been asking for that to be done? So many.
And
But-
actually.
We did get quotes, which was,
Franklin did go over there and put in some ditches, but it
They
didn't
did.
work
yeah,
because it's still flooded. It didn't get graded.
So that one, the grading and the drainage, the clearing of necessary trees and moving the fence line off the street so that you can see when you're coming in and out. Improved handicap parking and walkway to entrance, and install accessible beach ramp to the water and or maybe use some for the entrance. Improve signage and any needed ADA improvements to the bathroom are beyond our scope. That all needs to be done on a engineering plan that they didn't give us the money for, so.
100%. Because we needed that for the North Fields.
Yep.
They're working on that with John Pond, because
Yep.
the only way this can be done, as Melissa said correctly, is to do an engineering plan, because there could be drainage issues, ADA compliance, all of that. And, so for him to ask us that, if you can if you can come up with a plan for us and bring money to be used by October,
Mhm.
which is gonna be very hard because it's open,
Right.
there's really nothing we can do now.
Mhm.
Because we just can't buy equipment, put it in and so forth, because that could be, so I.
Well,
I
we
don't-
could buy like playground equipment and put it in, cause we're just replacing something that's currently there. We could bring in the safety for the fall zone, but they chose to, it just, I don't wanna go off on a tangent, but me against the arts. But we're paying they granted $10,000 for a speaker system so that the bands that playing in that thing don't have to bring their own sound systems. But they did not approve impact for the fall zones on any of the playground equipment on any of the parks. That just makes no sense to me. Call me crazy, but I think safety is more important, but
Yeah,
that's fine.
Well, as it,
and it's too late to apply for this under recreation with the CPC because, that ended the 18th
Yes.
of
well, the
April.
only issue, you can get an engineer, but you're still not gonna get the time to spend the money, because they want the money spent by October. Because the ARPA money has to be distributed by December, so any monies that are left over, they wanna give to other departments. So I don't know, I mean, so we'll skip some stuff and just go there. So there are some things left to be done down there. I think,
The shed.
the shed electric,
Yeah.
Melissa?
Yeah, Doug and I mapped it out, so
Good.
what you'll need to do is fill out a, form or redo the form with Pawnee and ask for the electrician to come out and take care of that. The outlets are marked and the lights are marked on the wood where they're supposed to go.
Okay, because talking to Todd, we still can use the monies that we had. I think I put a budget in for $7,500 for the electric. We still have monies to do some more stuff down there if things need to get done.
Well, we also need to put in for the, pump house, the pump, right? Because we had money left that needs to go to rebuild that pump house. And we need to save some of that money because if something breaks when we're starting it up,
Installing it.
we need to fix that plumbing. All that plumbing in that pump house needs to be redone.
Well, looking at the figures, I know we're around 14 grand that we can spend at Clear Pond,
Okay.
which I think would handle, I think we're high in the electric, that's just my feeling. And the
Yeah.
pump, we're high in the pump.
Mhm.
So I think we'll be able to get, hopefully before we open, we should have all of this done. So those are the priorities, is the shed and the pump.
In the pump.
I don't know what needs to be done with the pump.
The town plumber was in, along with Mr. Nee, when we were having the problems of
Mhm.
because they were so corrosive, they just eventually just disintegrate. And that's a real concern, because if you don't have, the water and there's,
Yeah. Can't run the
and every
bathrooms.
single time we tried to attempt to remove the existing one there by cutting it up with a Sawzall, just the vibration
Mhm.
caused another pipe to break. So that's why we built the new one, and it's behind the bathhouse, and it just needs to be brought over there, but we now have to figure out a way, because if we put it off and touch any of the other pipes, they're gonna
Right.
break.
So maybe we can ask them to come out and look at it,
Right.
like early June, the latest, so
Yeah.
that we can have any repairs done.
If we can do it earlier than that.
Mhm.
So what, we should
A work
meet
order?
with, Paul on that?
Yeah, well, it's
Melissa?
gotta, like Paula said, a work order has to be done for that and goes to Paul, and then Paul coordinates with the plumber.
So we need a work order for the electric and then the pump.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I don't know if the highway department has to get involved, because something's gotta pick that up and bring it over.
What department?
DPW.
Oh.
Yeah. The front end loader, where they can use the bucket to lift that up and
Yeah,
over.
well, just when we get to it.
Right.
You
we'll
mean
take
the,
care of it.
the pump
The,
shed,
the new shed that we built.
the new
right.
shed?
Yeah, so Paul can coordinate that too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
My other question was the, new shed.
Very
Are you
nice.
gonna be able to put some shelves in there? They left the wood in there.
Yes.
That'll
Yes, we'll
keep them
take care of
busy
it.
this summer, the
Right,
attendants.
right.
Great.
Yeah.
We don't need to add anything.
Are all your doors in good shape? I mean, is there a door that you're gonna pull open if it had a lock on it and it's gonna open? Or I mean, is there anything, I mean, if we're gonna do anything.
Well,
Right.
as long as we're doing work orders, the new shed sticks, the doors stick, and we knew that going in. And Paul was like, oh, we'll just shave it. So that needs to be done.
Mhm. One thing we are running out is locks.
Green locks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had pretty much the same, but during the course of people going and having to, when the police had to go in and they just cut the locks,
Oh,
on there. And so we had exactly enough. Now we don't have a lock for the new shed.
there
That's
is
the
one
same
in the
as all the
office, but
gate
it's a
works.
long one.
Okay.
Scott had extras, but I'm sure they used them.
They're all over the
Oh, yeah, we
They've
put
been
them
used
everywhere.
In the cabinet in the office,
There's still one.
There's one, but it's a long one.
Yeah, long ones are fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes it easier for them to cut off when they.
Yes.
Sure. All right.
Okay, anything else to discuss? So we're good with Clear Pond project now. We'll start doing work orders, and if anything else comes up,
Yeah.
just tell Melissa, and then we'll try to get, we have to get it, I think we need to get everything done by June 15th.
Okay.
So there's no running around, because you guys are gonna be running around.
Oh, they definitely need the water. They need the pump.
Yeah.
That's a must,
Yeah.
because, if it breaks, you don't have water for the bathrooms, right?
Right.
Or anything else,
I want to thank the Lakeville plumber and Mr. Lee for getting immediately. Of course, the park commission was involved in that, but there was one morning we had to like get down there because the park was opening, and they came right down, and were able to fix those first initial problems that we had with the pipes.
Oh,
That was kind of like almost a rush.
well, that's
Because we
emergent.
needed water that day and they were opening and we had no water. And they were very quick. And so was the board in responding to that. And Scott too, so.
Good.
uh,
Do we have anything else for Doug while he's here?
Nope. Do you
Does
have
Doug
anything for
have
us?
anything for us?
Yeah, just looking forward to another fun in the sun,
Yeah.
safe, healthy, clean. That's
Um,
what we, and some, yes.
Money.
And money.
And safety, as
And
you say,
safety,
and
yeah.
health.
Money.
Good money.
Well, thank you. You and your crew always do an unbelievable job, and you have your movie nights and tournaments and
Yeah.
stuff. It's just so wonderful to
Yeah.
see. So thank you for your
You're very, very welcome.
innovative work.
It's always been a lot of fun.
I just, a quick question, is there any kind of netting that you use for a movie night?
Oh, for mosquitoes.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if the park has to approve this, but we had a gentleman that comes in, Mr. Gainer, and he comes in and he has a mosquito repellent. And he comes in and volunteers to spray.
Oh,
He's been doing that for the last 2 years.
It's safe. I mean, it goes by.
Yes,
so
oh
we
yeah,
don't-
he's a registered business and all that. Right, I can send you information, but 2 years ago it was approved.
yeah.
And he's been doing it ever since.
So you get an invoice, I mean, you get a price.
There is no bill. He does it as a resident of the town.
Wow.
As a benefit for the town.
We can get Ed too. Doesn't he order county spraying? The Board of Health.
Ed
Don't we
Cohen?
get county mosquito spraying?
He does that for Ted Williams, right?
Yeah.
John.
He's gone into Clip-On before, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a backup too,
Right, right.
as often as we can do it, because I know
Yes.
that, you're near the water.
Yes.
Yep. And just keep us in mind when you order your t-shirts. I'll have a 2 extra large, please.
This is gonna be down there a lot.
Yep. You won't be able to get rid of me.
Yeah,
All right,
we're gonna
well,
do a
thank
couple
you,
of things. All right, so 2 extra larges.
Yes, please.
What size would you like for a t-shirt?
Large is fine.
Large is fine.
Nothing.
Nothing. Pete? No, I think you're.
What? What, Peter?
Only if you have muscle shirts. Okay?
We do. We can
No,
get
it's
you
okay.
muscle shirts.
You have to return it. It doesn't work. Okay, let's zip through the next
All right,
few
thanks,
things.
Doug.
Yep, thank you
Do
very
you
much.
wanna go to your number 7 now, so Chief can find something better to do with his night?
Chief, you working? Are you on call?
I'm always on call.
Yeah. No, come on up, come on up.
All right, thank you.
Bye,
Yeah.
Doug, thanks.
Yes, you'll need to sign in, Chief.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Somebody sign in?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like our
So I gather
guest.
you're here because you saw the fire station on the agenda?
Yeah, I just wanted to come and answer any questions that you might have. Not really to interject myself.
Okay.
Where are we?
Oh, wait, when you're ready.
Well, why don't you start, because this isn't what we had talked, number 7 is not what we had talked about in person or through messages. So why don't you start with that?
Well, I'll just give a quick
Okay.
update. Lorraine approached me about maybe the fire station committee having a table and having pamphlets and stuff to pass out. And then I had forwarded it to the fellow commissioners and they responded individually. I told Lorraine my concerns, and then just not too long ago, she called me again and said there'll be no table, no commissioners there. And then just the,
You mean no committee or?
no committee, I'm sorry, no committee there. It'll just be the firemen who will have the pamphlets. So that's why I put it on the agenda. And then I get a call this morning stating that there would be no pamphlets. No one from the committee. It would just be, the firemen with a board of what the new fire station would look like. So that's what I heard this morning. So we want you to come and tell us what you see it on Lakeville Day.
So we would be doing the normal thing, the outreach for public safety, the handouts, for fire prevention, the helmets and things like that.
Which the kids absolutely love,
Yeah.
and a lot of the adults absolutely love.
So that's our main focus of being there. But I can't go to the Dunkin' Donuts without people asking me questions about the fire station. So it's difficult to respond to those questions. Or it's difficult. I don't want to act like I'm not responding to their concerns, or I don't want to react to their questions. I want to be as transparent as I can be. So I wasn't in favor of handouts because I didn't want them littering the park, because people tend to throw things and that's not exactly good PR for our initiative. But I wanted to provide something that they can look at, and so there would be kind of a poster board out for them to look at, not something that we would put in anybody's face, but just kind of behind the scene. And if they want to, I'm going to be there personally, and we're going to have somebody dedicated to doing the typical thing that we do every year. And that's all they're going to be doing. And if anybody wants to talk about the fire station question, they're going to point to me, and I'll take them off to the side and get out of the way and have a conversation with them. That's the extent of our goal or what we'll be doing there as far as communication. So it's we didn't want to. Fire prevention is a very important message. It's a very important thing that we engage with everybody there and talk about all the programs that we normally do every year. But we didn't want to seem like we were, we wanted to address the elephant in the room, which is what everybody wants to talk to us about, which is the fire station initiative. That's pretty much it.
I guess this is the second Lakeville Day, and I know the last Lakeville Day, which was unbelievable, we didn't have any, we call it politics in a kind of a way, or any agendas. So you would kind of look at this, maybe if they did have a table in passing, that would be kind of proposing an agenda saying, here, we want you to vote, we want you whatever. So I think I agree with that not happening, but it's, so we just have to decide whether that's appropriate.
Yeah. Well, I don't want the chief to think we're singling you out, but we have had people, other groups come in the past, not for Lakeville Day, but for other events that were more of a political football, shall I say, and it was voted down. So if we open that door, then everybody can do it. And the park commission is not trying to advocate anything. That we're here for the purpose of fun, and we don't want any of these individual groups to have it reflect on the park.
Yeah. I think the only difference between what's going on here is that it's a town initiative. It's not a fire department initiative. Obviously, we're, involved because it's our, it's our career field, it's matters, it's part of our mission. The reality is that wherever we go, whether it's at one of your functions or if we're at the school department, everybody wants to talk to us about it. And it's not the primary reason we're gonna be there. It's not gonna be
Because you've
why
been
we're
there in the
coming.
past.
But you know, when somebody asks me a question, you know, and this is gonna, I don't want this to come out wrong, but I'm not gonna respond to I'm not gonna provide information to that person because the Parks Commission told me not to. It's to me, it's a conversation that needs to happen.
Right.
Whether you're opposed to the station project or you're in favor of it.
But you're not advocating that, you're just answering the public in a private way.
I'm not gonna seek people out to discuss it with.
Right.
But if anybody wants to talk to me about it, there's gonna be a visual there. My intention is to take them out of the way and stand up to the side and have a conversation with them. And so it doesn't interfere with the primary reason we're there. That's been kind of my intention all along. And the flyers and things like that, I think that type of thing kind of backfires because some people could care less about the fire station, and they're gonna throw the flyers on the ground and then they're gonna litter the place, and the people who do care are gonna think very highly of that activity. So it's the goal is to be informative, be transparent, but not try and steal anybody's thunder and not trying to take away from the event. It's just the reality that people are gonna wanna talk about it. And I don't want to seem like I'm being, evasive or being, trying to hide something. I want to be transparent and I want to respond to questions freely. But it's not my intention to be a distraction. And that's why I'm going personally, so I can control what's being said and the tone of everything. So.
I think we appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions for the
No, I think it's
Melissa?
self-explanatory.
I think Chief has always answered all our questions and put it out there and did a great job. It's just like, I'm concerned with Lakeville Day was a community building event, right? So then if we have this committee there with the table and then the people against the fire station we don't want battles. We don't want it to be divisive. We don't want we just want it all. But
I'm perfectly content to scream at it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's just a fun day.
Megaphones yelling back and forth. No.
And I canceled the t-shirt. No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to be funny. It's a fun day. It's a good day. I'll probably have family there. We're not trying to take anything away. We just don't want to act like we're not being available to anybody.
Yeah, and it's important that you do answer people's questions, positive and negative, right? You got to hear it all
All the time.
and they don't
hear
hold
it on
back.
the street,
Yeah.
So
can't avoid it.
Yeah, and that's why I came out tonight. I just wanted to make sure you understood where my head was at.
yeah, which is important because like you've heard, like we've been going back and forth, like it's changed like 5 times. Like yesterday, this was not number. That's not how number
I've been on
7
the
was
phone
reading.
every day the last week, so.
I know, and I'm just one member of the committee, and I'm not the chair. But since I'm going to be the one there, I get to do what I want to do.
Otherwise, you won't come to our house in case something happens.
No. I would never-
we don't even joke about that.
yeah.
That's not that would never happen.
All right, do we want to vote on this now, please? You want to make a motion on approving the chief being there to be able to answer questions about the fire station design at Lakeville Tech?
If he's asked, yes.
I was gonna say, I think he's welcome. That's
Okay.
not what this says.
Well, I didn't plan on the chief being here, so.
Yeah,
That was, if he would invite you, I would have had a different
He
thing,
has
but I didn't know you
the
were showing
element
up.
of surprise
Yeah.
with going with him. Yeah.
So,
I think he's welcome.
I was
Well,
just going to sit off in the corner and just
No,
listen.
no, we're good.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
good.
All
I
right.
know if somebody comes, they have to participate. That's why nobody
All
ever
right.
comes.
Yeah.
They have to
All right.
participate.
No.
so we're all with your,
No, I appreciate the opportunity. It's a good way for us to connect with the community, not specifically to the fire department, but we get our fire prevention message out there. That's very important to us. So thank you for the opportunity to attend.
thank you very much.
Thanks for
Thank-
coming.
All right.
Thanks for
Much your
coming.
hard work and your whole department.
Okay, go Bruins. I hope you get to see some of the game.
I'm a Ranger fan. so.
Oh,
You're kidding me, aren't you?
You wanna see my ranger?
He's not.
Goodbye, chief.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much for
Thank you.
taking
Yeah,
time.
thanks for coming.
Okay, where are we? Next to the agenda. Okay.
Minutes?
Review and approve minutes of April 18th, 2024. I looked at it twice
I have two corrections.
and I didn't even see them. Go ahead. What do we
First
have?
of all,
You want mine first? Or do you wanna go, Peter?
I'll go
ahead.
first.
All right,
if
go
I
ahead.
caught yours. First of all, there was
I didn't
only
catch
one Mark Sass at the meeting,
Yes,
not two Mark
it's fun that he
Sasses.
left twice.
Yes.
Where did you see that?
It's, just at the bottom, item 3, the last sentence, just above item 4.
Oh,
It's Mark
okay.
Sass
Mark
and
Sass
Mark
and-
Sass.
Okay.
And the other one was item 11. Paula Hall, she also said, Dune Pond Horseshoe Club requested that we are careful not to block. I think what you mean is, what should have been said by access to the horseshoe course, not parking.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Well, I said, you commented on how the Dune Pond Horseshoe Club requested not to block access to the
Right,
horseshoe
access
courts.
with parking.
Yeah.
By the horseshoe course,
Okay.
yep. So access.
So those
You're
are
right.
my two.
Those are
What
your
did you
two?
have, Melissa?
I have number 5.
Is this the spelling test or?
Yes?
It's review and possible vote on co-ed volleyball application for field time.
Oh, you have blooper ball.
And
Okay,
we already did blooper ball
Yep.
right above it.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And I also went back and watched this meeting, parts of it, so I could pick all this stuff out. And when we split up Brenna's liaisonship, I took softball, Scott took co-ed blooper ball, and you have women's blooper ball.
And then I asked you, I remember asking you, would you consider taking blooper ball, and you said yes.
At the very end,
Yeah,
at the very end of our meeting. Because
Well, not
I
at the-
watched our whole liaison conversation and that never happened during our liaison conversation.
Was it off the record?
no, it was during, because I remember saying it, and I remember you saying.
Well, if you wanna look back on that, go through that meeting again.
The question
and
is,
find it.
do you want me to keep it? I can.
Well, yeah, like, we split it up. I took one, Scott took one, you
Okay.
take one. And then if we recommend Brittany,
She could take it.
Will she be shadowing people, or will she have an assignment?
I don't know.
Okay.
she said
So-
she's a quick learner.
I bet she
And
is.
my understanding from the clerk is that all the teams got their.
Field passes.
Field passes. Thank you.
If they're approved, they've got their field passes.
Okay.
Now, if all their documentation is in.
Yeah,
and
I happened to
paid,
ask somebody and they didn't know, so, but
Well,
it
I
might
can-
not have gone to
if-
that person.
You can let me know and I'll follow up and check.
I think it, because it was
I
the
do make,
president,
I do make mistakes.
no.
Mm. Melissa, did you find any others?
No, those were it.
Okay.
I motion to accept the minutes of April 18th with those changes.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next is,
Do you wanna go back up to 2 before we forget to vote on Brittany?
oh, yes. Where are we? Okay, vote to amend select board. So we met with Brittany Lepori and we need a motion to recommend to the select board that she be appointed to the park commissioner.
I motion to recommend appointing Brittany Lepore to the Park Commission for the next 11 months.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
I'm just gonna say by the fact that she's the only one who submitted a letter of interest, she kinda gets it no matter what, right?
And the only question I have is, I know she's a student and this is going to be her experience here, as to whether or not she'll have an assignment or whether we'll shadow or,
Well, she's only here for 11 months, so if she shadows us, then she doesn't get any assignment and doesn't get any.
Yeah,
I mean, we can walk her through it like we did with Brenna and like you guys did with me, but
okay.
she's gonna be fine.
No, I just, you know, I know that she's taking 11 months and this is her first
She'll be a lot of help.
experience in the town.
Probably
So-
come up with some great ideas. Okay, did we take the vote? I don't
think so.
remember.
No,
Okay, all in favor?
I,
No discussion? It's unanimous, Peter. Do we have any more on the top to go through?
No.
Okay, next is review and possible vote on tournament requests for Lakeville Horseshoe Club.
There's 4 requests here, by the way.
You wanna go through each one, please?
Yeah, that's there's one for May 25th, which is,
3 weeks.
yep. That's the doubles horseshoe tournament. It's about 12 to 36 people.
is that what they came up with? Oh, yeah. they're
Yeah.
12.
So $20 per player is what they're charging.
What they're charging, yeah.
And because it's a current organization, current league, they get charged $2 a
$2
person.
per player. And
Or is that for
User fee
the
cannot be given.
invited team that gets paid, that has to pay $2?
If they have an existing agreement with us, and they have a tournament, it's $2 per player
For the participant.
for the
Thank you.
participants.
Are we motioning on these separately or together?
Let's do them together.
And all of these are, I put them on the schedule, there's no conflicts.
Yeah.
June 8th, of course, they're all horseshoe, the horseshoe club is good,
This is the Mass Open.
Did
So
we
June
ever,
8th
did we
sorry.
ever get the $500 for the tree from them?
I believe so, I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure we did.
Okay.
Just follow up. And this is what, the Mass Open?
Mass Open singles, and
Number of
that's June
people,
8th.
15 minimum.
Okay, so it's they're charging $25 per person. Are we still charging them $2 a person because they do not have a league with us? But Deb Michaud does run the league.
Which
But I
one?
think if they've already got applications out there and they're only charging $25 a person,
What date are you looking at?
We're on,
the last page.
Okay. Where do you see 25?
Back page.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yep. So they're charging.
Picture.
You think we should be asking for more money?
Well, I think they're hosting, the club is hosting the tournament, they are part of this organization, the Mass Horseshoe Pitchers Association, if I understand it correctly.
Well, just this has a different contact person, right? Than Debbie.
The primary contact is 2 of them, so one of them is Deb, who runs the
Who owns that?
Loon Pond
And
Horseshoe
then
Club.
Shelby.
Shelley Martinez? Is it Shelby or Shelley? Shelley Martinez?
Horseshoe, 25, 12. How do you get 12 to 42 people? Don't we normally,
Cause it's in August, so maybe they haven't,
I see.
Yeah, they don't always
so
have
they don't
a-
know how many people are coming yet.
Yeah.
And how soon do they know when the sign-up's right before, a week before?
I have no idea.
Sometimes they don't know until the day of.
Right, sometimes people play at the door, but it's a
And she usually,
state tournament, so do you think it has to be, well, it doesn't really matter. I say
No.
we charge them the $2 and we just tell them like in the future, it's $10 for
Exactly. Right.
non-leagues, and then if they wanna take the responsibility and put it as their league, that's up to them.
So it's $2 for the,
$2 per person.
yeah, for the out-of-town people or whatever, right?
For everybody.
For everybody, okay.
I motion to accept the 4 horseshoe tournaments at $2 per player,
All 4 of them?
all 4 of
Yeah,
them.
we're doing the fun.
Yeah.
I second the motion.
All in, discussion? No discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, Peter. Okay. Lakeville Day update.
We got some good news today. The Apponequet Jazz Band is coming to play for us between 12 and 12:45 on the back gazebo. So they were a hit. There'll be a musical day. We have, Rich O'Reilly is coming back to play again this year from 12 to 2. And we have
When
our
did he play?
guitar and sang
Okay.
in the middle next to the Lions Club popcorn. And we have our Lakeville town DJ, Kevin is coming to play games and music with the kids. We have less vendors, so only 2 people, 3 people selling things. But we have more people coming and bringing games and crafts for the kids to do.
That's, I think that's more important.
More important, yes.
Way more important.
So Loon Pond Lodge also has Cinco de Mayo celebration, so they have margaritas. Weather permitting, of course, they'll be lighting the big fire pit and have the s'mores kits available.
So they pay cash for everything over there, they have their own,
Yeah,
right,
they take care of all of that.
all right.
So Lakeville Day, Sunday, May 5th, 11 to 3. Don't let a little scattered showers keep you away.
No way. No way.
It's raining right now.
Mm.
It's pouring.
And it was so
No, this-
sunny today.
I mean, from what people ask questions, Lakeville Day still this year. But there's a ton of interest, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Neighbors and everything.
we had, it was easier to get people like vendors and big come in March. They can't, their season's already started, so that's
Yeah.
why. But it was fun to have like some vendors spread throughout. Harry's Paw Farm, she's having her baby shower, so she can't come again, cause they were like my favorite last year. They were such a surprise. I didn't know we had a farm like that in town.
Is this
so-
the one you're talking about?
That's the one we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, I think that, we don't have as many vendors, we don't have a lot of money coming in, and I don't think we'll be getting a coverage for ads.
Yeah, we did not take out a half-page ad this year in Nemasket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you make a little bit money last year?
We did, we covered our ads
Yeah,
last
you
year.
covered yours.
Yeah,
Um,
and,
I don't think the weather's gonna affect anything.
well,
No.
hopefully not,
It's gonna be
and,
fine.
I think it'll be fine.
And then the people are doing their, exhibitions, like horseshoe and pickleball and,
actually, we've got soccer on the fields, and hopefully martial arts. We didn't get any baseball teams though, did we?
No, women's soccer is coming with a, goal, so you can kick your goals into the net. Freetown Lakeville Soccer is coming with, and have cones set up to do drills. Lakeville Mixed Martial Arts, the fire station will be there. The DPW is dropping off a truck like they had last year. Plenty of stuff for everybody.
I mean, the big equipment will be in a different location.
the front end loader's gonna move, you said?
Yeah, we're gonna try to get that,
Over by Horseshoes.
along with the fire truck and, if the police come, I don't think we heard back from them, but, and then we'll have it in an area so that there's a clear view of horseshoes, because horseshoes and pickleball were robbed last year because they were blocked
Well, just please make sure my table's under a tree in case it does rain.
Well, bring your umbrella.
Okay, sorry. Next, we have,
Also, the Boom Pond Lodge will have adult and soft drinks.
Yeah.
Okay.
all set.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, discuss possible ARPA funded projects for parks. So the only thing they approved was the skate park.
That's a select board?
The select board, yeah. Well, you were there when they voted on it.
Yes.
They still want information from me on a little trench that's gotta be done, which, I pretty much got all the information on that, which,
I thought you didn't have to, you checked with somebody, you didn't have
the,
to, you didn't have to.
Officer
advertise.
Malte,
Yeah,
sent me a note and I met him the next day and he said, yeah, it's just, it goes from Ryan's office just to the pole right there. It's like a 1 foot hole and only has Cat 5 cable. So it's not gonna be much, so that, I know I can get someone to do it for nothing, but I just gotta give them a price, so.
yeah.
So we'll take care of that. So, talking about ARPA funds, we only got approved that, obviously.
They
Do
shot
you
down.
see anything else that we wanna put in?
Well, we had something in there for, Clear Pond, but that's the
That's-
issue with,
well, yeah,
they
we-
never got the plan or the design and et
That's
cetera.
exactly what Melissa said.
Yeah.
They kind of dropped the ball from the engineering plan that should have been done, but we have to go forward.
Mhm.
So, I guess that's, as far as ARPA, the only thing that's gonna be left is the skate park and the security system, unless someone can think of something else to put in before.
The cameras, didn't they approve cameras?
No, they had to get
Surveillance?
the trench thing. I'm gonna put the cameras up at Clear Pond and John Pond, but they're gonna put cameras that are gonna cover,
Ted Williams.
Ted Williams. That one camera is gonna be able to see a quarter on the tennis court.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
Did they save that for the end if there was money left?
Did you hear that? That they were gonna save it to the end with the money left, but then I sent a note saying, I'm gonna have this information for you next week, and we cannot wait, because who knows when the money's left, and we need these cameras ASAP, because it's gonna be busy. That's not gonna help us in the winter time.
Right,
So, that was a suggestion, but
yeah,
that's not going to happen.
yeah, they wanted to bump us to the end.
To
so
the
that
end.
If there was money left over, we would. Yeah.
So,
Other project, yeah, I watched it.
oh, she was, you heard her. She was angry.
I was angry.
Melissa was angry.
Mm.
Okay, so we're gonna go past that. Update on Eagle Scout project. I met last night with Darren, I'm sorry.
Oh, good.
I met
was-
last night with Darren and Samantha's mom, Darren. They're very, very impressive family. I think Peter put in your folders exactly what he's doing. We discussed, there should be a picture of a bench that he's building in there. It's gonna be
Last page.
it's gonna be a Marine War memorial. They did the, printing of the
This is
plaque.
big,
That's a bench they're building, yeah.
and that's what he's putting in?
Well,
I mean, I was thinking of a back.
well, what's gonna happen is Ted Minahan in 2015 set that up in there with the flagpole and everything, which that sign is going to stay there. Okay, it's not gonna be moved because that was his project. And what they're pretty much doing is extending it with new stone, and then they have,
He's making it larger.
he's making it larger. They're gonna be planting, plants that are gonna come back and be hardy and so forth. The plaque, there will be a plaque, and the wording of the plaque, did you print it out?
Yep, it's the second to last.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Ted Williams.
Yeah, so that's what they're gonna be putting in there. He does have, help.
I think he got J. Wills or something to donate it.
Frank Wills,
Frank,
yeah.
okay.
And then, they're going to start a week from this Sunday.
Mm-hmm,
They wanna try to get it done by June, cause he's going away in July.
mm-hmm.
So I told him if he needs anything, let us know. But if you look at his
His design.
proposal and his design, and,
Mhm.
this is pretty in-depth, probably
Yes.
more in-depth than I've seen ever.
I thought it was a lot to take
From the
on.
hours he's put in and from how much everything is and what supplies, so he's committed to it.
I just want to raise one question. Once this is done and all that planting, who's gonna take care of all that, plants and stuff? Will the town?
We'll work that out.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just raising the question.
Yeah, no, I just wanna get it done and see how
Yeah,
beautiful it is.
because I was recently asked on my project who was gonna maintain something, and I thought, well,
So,
does this apply here?
yeah, well, we'll hit that down the road, but it's a very impressive project and very impressive.
Yeah, it's a big project,
Yeah, very nice, and they're very grateful for doing it.
and, I'm so happy that he's honoring Ted Williams with this.
Okay, I'm gonna skip 11 for now. We're gonna go to 12. So it says update the Dorothea Will Memorial Skate Park. We may change that name, but that's not on the agenda or anything down the road.
Is she somebody that donated that?
It was Frank Will. It was his mom. He did
Oh.
it 24 years ago.
We can't change the name.
Well, we've discussed if he wanted to do anything from him, but we'll probably keep it the same. But if we're gonna do it, we're gonna need to put another sign there because the sign's horrible.
Yeah, but you're not gonna,
No, we're not gonna do anything. I'm just saying.
I'm saying you're not
It's not
thinking of
on the
changing.
agenda. We're not doing anything yet.
Okay,
So this, they want this done ASAP, like I said before, because they want to see if there's any monies left, which,
for which,
and any monies left from our project.
you
Which
mean,
I think we asked for 150 on it.
yes,
They approved 150, by our, when Melissa came up with some quotes, it should fall below that.
and that's for the skate park,
That's for the skate park,
150,000, right?
everything we were gonna do. So I sent out an email to see if anyone individually, if anyone interested. I didn't really get any responses, so I'm here today to ask if someone is willing to take over this project.
Well, Scott's not here, so I think we need to wait until he comes back.
Well, he didn't show any interest when I sent it to him. But we can wait.
Well, I think part of our thing, like Chief said, transparency is important. Transparency is important for us. So we would rather discuss, I believe, who here wants to do it. Do you want to do it? Do you want to work with me? Do you want, than somebody calling everybody behind their back to get a feel of who wants to do what project.
Well,
it just seems like a little shady to me.
No, it's shady if I did it to one person. I did it because, it's not shady if I do it to everyone at the same time, which I wanted to do. I didn't want to do it at the same time, so people are saying, well, who's gonna do it, what's gonna do it? So the interest is only so that when we had a meeting, that we could discuss it and say, or let them think about if they have the time to do it. So, because I don't see, if we just ask tonight, people are gonna go, well, how long is it gonna take? What do I have to do? I have to do the RFP. So, no, you may wanna think it's shady, but it's far from shady. That's why I asked everyone what it was about. So, so I'm asking once again, the reason I'm asking tonight, I know Scott isn't here because it's gotta start quickly. You know the work, Melissa, what it's like to get everything together and get the RFP out and so forth. So if you want, we can table this till the next meeting and hopefully everyone's here. But that is, if anyone wants to make a motion to table it, I'm fine with it. Or do we decide?
I'm not overly interested.
I'm not either, because I think that we've done some projects and sometimes other people have to pick up the slack.
So
And,
it's gonna fall on me.
no, I don't think it has to fall on you. We have a
Well, I will,
member that's not here.
if, that's okay,
And we need to discuss it with him too, and he's not here, so we can't really say who's
All right, well,
gonna
I will,
do it.
Peter, I'll table this to the next meeting. By then, regardless, the other project will be done anyway, so.
Update on Commissioner's Field. Oh, you-
Update on Gamache Playground. I guess he was brought up at the, select board meeting, wanted to talk about the walk, so.
Yes, at the select board meeting again. I had messaged Bob Nunes about when the walkways were gonna start. I believe it was March 16th that I messaged him. Because we went out, I met with, Gates Masonry, we marked it all off. He was all set to start that week or the next week, which I let Bob know, assuming that he would pass that information on, because that's how Ari always worked. We worked together. He was like my liaison to the select board. But apparently that never got passed along, or maybe it did and they forgot. I don't know. So that was already said. But unfortunately, it's rained every week since then. So there's nothing. He can't pour concrete in the rain. He can't have his people out there laying bricks in the rain. So he's, weather permitting, it's going to start the week after Monday. So I think it's like the 13th to do that. He's already got the pavers. He's all ready to go. He just has to wait for the weather.
Okay, so that's, the week of May 13th?
Yes. The other issue right now with the playground is those missing bolts. I don't know if you went
saw
out to
that.
look at them, but there's no way those 3 bolts on that one piece of equipment came out by themselves, because it was very hard to put it back in. And one is missing. So the bolt didn't like work its way out the top and then disappear all by itself.
So people.
So you can
just-
put that down to vandalism, whatever that's gonna cost. The parts come in from Germany, so they have to be ordered and shipped.
Right.
So
Do we have any bolts in there now holding anything?
there's one in there.
And we can't get one bolt from anywhere?
It doesn't look like it's going anywhere. They're like,
It's proprietary, I'm
Yeah.
sure. They make them so that only they sell them.
it's metric. It's not a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's like a 7.5-ish key, hex key, because I went and we like bought every key that there was, and it
Didn't fit.
doesn't fit.
So we just have to order it, correct?
Should have already
He's
done it.
Okay.
But I don't
Who
know.
ordered it, Paul?
No, the playground guy.
Okay.
So you guess you have to make a decision what you'd like to do with that piece of equipment. That's one of the most popular pieces of equipment, but it's missing 2 bolts.
And which piece of equipment did it go to? I'm sorry.
It's the Unity swing. It's the big round one that you saw the guys stand up and swing on.
Mm-hmm. Does Paul have something that he can use stationary to hold it in?
I don't know.
I mean, or do we have to shut it down?
I don't know.
Is it wobbly?
No.
No. But if a 600-pound elephant got on it, it would break.
Well, my guess if it's a 600-pound elephant got on it, it might break anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if, was,
So the idea is just to order it and then wait,
Order it and put it in.
put it in, yeah.
but the question I'm concerned with is whether it's safe to use.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Can the playground equipment people answer that question?
Answer that question. He didn't say shut it down when I sent him the pictures. He didn't seem concerned, but I will check with him again.
I think he would have told you, like, please,
Yeah, shut it down right now.
Shut it down,
Yeah,
yeah.
because he's a playground safety inspector as well, so. And if you go down there, I'm not condoning or encouraging this, but if you go down there and like try to get it apart, it doesn't come apart. So I
Yeah.
don't know what internally is hooked up,
Yeah.
but
it's like a screw from a grill, there's so many of them that you wouldn't notice.
Somebody obviously needed that size bolt, huh? Oh, no.
well, they tried to put it back in, and in trying to put it back in, it's a little mangled.
And, and the handicap, signs, I mean, the, parking. Is Frank putting those up, or?
I had asked Frank to, order me 2.
Okay,
I don't know
I'll
if they're
follow up.
in, I don't know.
I'll follow up.
But until the walkways are in,
Okay,
doesn't make any sense to put them up.
got it. Okay. Let's go back to, okay, Gamache, completion of shed, removal of playground, we discussed that. So as far as, Commissioner's Field is going, we're on target. If anyone's been down there, the fence should be put in by tomorrow. They put up the post today.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was like a temporary,
No, that's the
Fence.
act, so they're actually gonna be doing that. Weather permitting was supposed to be nice tomorrow, so the fence should be put in. He's rolling the lot, he's putting over the rock that needs to go on there. The drainage is done all the way down to where it's supposed to go.
I have a question about,
Uh-huh.
you know how the driveway goes down?
Mhm.
Is that stone the rest of the way and it's gonna go all the way around?
You'll see it when you go down there, stone being laid down there now.
Yeah,
It's not the same as on the driveway.
no, but does it go all the way
Yes,
around?
yes.
Thank
It'll
you.
go the whole parking lot, which is what he's doing now. He's moving poles, I'm looking at maybe some fence configurations, but the signs will be put up on the driveway coming down. We're not gonna put any more signs anywhere. Melissa, I had asked Paula to go talk to the soccer people to see what their status is. Paula, you wanna tell Melissa?
Yeah,
what they said?
I've talked to Chris Borg, I guess it's president of the soccer, and he just is not going to use the field this spring. He's got like till June, so he's got 3 or 4 weeks. So he's not going to put the teams down there, but he will put, in the fall, he's gonna put the younger people use that field because the older 16 and up, is it?
Yeah,
The field's not big enough. So they want to use half of the field up here and rest the other half, and they're willing to seed and do whatever maintenance. So, in order to do that, well, you can do it anyways, but they also apparently loaned the DPW a aerator. And.
but we've had it for years.
Yeah, they loaned it a long time ago, but they need to have the field aerated, so if Frank gets that aerated, we need to tell him a couple weeks in advance, you know, to aerate it, and then they'll
I
finish
talked,
up with the rest of the seeding and whatever maintenance.
so I talked
For
to,
half of that field.
But that's not till the fall, correct?
No, they're
no,
gonna do that.
you aerate
when
it
they-
now,
Yeah, as soon as they stop playing.
In June.
yes.
Yeah, they'll aerate it, hopefully, you know, and then they'll be seeding and maintaining whatever. They were willing to do that on their own.
So, Ryan's aerating now the outfields of all the baseball fields.
Oh, good.
So he's doing all of that, and he'll be aerating the commissioners' fields. And then afterwards, when soccer's done, he's gonna aerate those fields. Then you're gonna have to call soccer, tell them to come down and seed it,
Yeah,
because they're gonna be seeding it. And
They're
then,
gonna
But
see
it's
it
sort-
in June?
yeah,
but do I still have to?
well, because we have irrigation down.
Do we still have to
Do.
put a work order into Franklin for aerating it like 2 weeks before?
I'm taking care of that, yeah.
You're gonna do that?
I said, you tell me
Once you-
when.
Yeah, and once you,
I already
yeah.
gave him a heads up.
okay.
So they all know what they're gonna do, and then we'll figure out what field what we wanna tie off to heal.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think it's the smaller ones. so
Well,
the corner.
all I know is he indicated when looking at the field from where his trailer is, it's the field on the
Yeah,
right.
well, and then,
You can do all the other.
and you're
on the
gonna
left.
discuss with him about moving all the nets,
Yeah,
because the nets are hanging around,
I saw
and
them.
once the season's over, I mean, these guys can't
Right.
mow or anything, so. Oh,
I know, you want 4 left there.
just 4 left there, and the rest we're gonna put in the corner down there.
Every week or at the end of the season?
Just at the end of the season, and then obviously when they come back, they'll probably move them down there, but there's no reason for them to be all hanging out.
Oh,
So,
they're gonna have to move them anyways at the end because you gotta aerate it and you gotta seed it and you gotta do all that stuff.
so as far as Commissioner's Field, that will be done, but, so it'll give us time to aerate the fields.
Have they made the signs for Commissioners Field?
No, I have, the only signs I've made are all the traffic signs that we're gonna need, and the turtle signs.
Oh, we don't have a sign for,
No, we don't have, well, we have, what came in is the portable sign that will say soccer tournaments, and then that goes outside the gate, and then at the end of the day, it comes back in, because we didn't know.
right, but are we going to have a sign that
We are
says
gonna have a sign that says,
Commissioners Field somewhere?
yes, commissioners, it'll say,
Will it be up on a post or on a fence or?
I'm working on it now, which will give us time to do it, but
Yeah.
my goal is to put welcome to Commissioners Field established 2024.
Mhm.
So we were gonna do an opening, but now that we know I'm gonna wait till we get activity again and so forth and open it when the season starts. I don't wanna go down to an empty field and do a grand opening.
Right, but when does the sign go in?
Well, the
Now-
sign,
The Commissioners Field?
The
Does it
Commissioners
go
Field sign
The
is-
20th or later?
that'll go later.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna let them know that, I'll let the Nemasket people know that. So everything is on target, which is good news.
Well, it doesn't really matter.
I'm sorry?
It doesn't really matter, no one's using it.
I know, but we still, I'm glad they reached their target, that's all, because you never know.
Sign for,
And then I'll be working on the running of the electric and the water, once that's once it gets approved by the town, the whole budget, then we'll be able to do that starting July 1st. Because that was approved by the committees. So that's where we stand with ARPA, that's where we stand with, all of our projects. We have no,
and we covered, Clear Pond, the shed, right?
yep,
All right,
yep.
so,
So
that's
we
good.
have no other,
Um,
our next meeting is 2 weeks,
May 16th.
May 16th. Same time, same bat channel.
on this, Ted Williams camp, all these things here,
That's just long range, we'll have to deal with that later. Those are things that we can't,
this is what he sent to us, so we're not talking about it now.
no, not down there. No,
Thank you.
that's all long range planning. Let's get rid of the bathroom in the middle of the field. And I understand there's a lot to be done, the parking lot needs to be done, but that's money way down the road. It costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to pave that parking lot.
Well, and we still have the parking lot problem at,
Well, John Pond.
Clear Pond. If we continue to get rain and it does flood,
Well, we got a price on doing that whole parking lot and it was north of 70 grand, 65.
no, the parking lot at Clear Pond,
At Clear Pond.
how
You
did
get a
it go
price for
from?
that? I don't remember getting an actual
I don't
price.
Well,
either.
actually, Frank
would-
went down there,
Yeah,
and-
because we had the 4,000 from the,
yeah, but the 4,000 doesn't
right.
No, it
cover
was
it.
gonna
But
grade it.
it didn't have prevailing wage, so if we were going to do it and pay prevailing wage, it would be over 7,000, but I don't know about this 70,000.
Well, because that, he wasn't, on the thing you were gonna do, he wasn't going to do anything with because the drainage needs to be redone, the drainage doesn't work, so he would have to do the drainage, okay? Then he'd have to do both sides, okay?
Well,
You
who's
just can't do
he?
one side.
DPW?
No, the guy who you got the quote
Well,
from.
right. The idea
He was
was,
just donating the rock,
no,
basically.
listen to me. DPW put in the drains,
Mhm.
so it would drain off.
Yeah,
He was gonna grade it so that it would go down into the drains to drain off into the culverts. Because, I mean, putting the drains in didn't work because it wasn't graded.
but who was gonna grade it?
He was gonna grade it and bring it right down to the hard surface. And when you took that topsoil off and it was like clay or whatever
Mhm.
underneath, it was hard and so you could drive on it. But the problem was that he didn't pay prevailing wage, so it was a no-go. And to get somebody in there now to do the same thing would have been over 7,000, which we didn't have in the budget.
Right, but to do it correctly,
Well,
What he was doing was nice, but it was a Band-Aid. So if we were gonna do it, we really needed to do it correctly.
I didn't think it sounded like a Band-Aid. I think
No.
he sounded like he knew what he was doing.
Yes.
And we didn't need to pave it. If you wanted to
Well,
put
no, you
rock.
can't pay it, go ahead.
Yeah, and if you wanted to put rocks on it, you could, but at that time, you wouldn't have to because he would take all that topsoil off and underneath is hard. But if you graded it properly, it would go down into the drain when graded, and then you could drive on it. But now we get a problem with mud, and I know that they're gonna be pushing cars out of the mud again.
Well, when we had the polar plunge, it was wet day, so that parking lot was torn up. And I know the Verizon man almost got stuck in the parking lot
Yeah.
today.
I mean,
So,
here we are opening up and I mean, if there's a problem, that's the problem. I know that we have to get electric into the shed and that kind of thing, but that is a big problem. And,
Well, we'll have money left
It-
over.
I mean, it could have held us for a very long time if we had done it the way he asked us to do it, but unfortunately, you know, you have to have prevailing wage.
All right, anyone would like to make a motion?
well, first of all, I would like to say we finally got the CPC money. I turned in the hard copy, so we are all set for the engineering plan at John Pond Park, which some of the things on Brian's list will be incorporated into that. But I would like to next meeting vote and discuss who's gonna be on that project team and who we should invite to be on that project team to do the engineering plan on Clear Pond and John Pond Park. Cause that's got a lot of moving pieces, because it has the water / bathroom / whether to do a well, whether to do that, so we need a select board person, whether to do a shed, whether to put the bathrooms in the shed, whether to just do a slab. There's a lot of different components that have to be discussed, whether to put that in there or not.
Did you
That
come
we
up
just
with-
can't answer that.
Did you come up with an estimate of the whole thing yet, with the
The whole thing?
paving and all
No,
of that?
we need the engineering
No, I was
plan.
just curious if you had a ballpark, because I know Mark was involved with that.
Right, so the plan then was $500,000 for the whole project.
Okay.
Because, first of all, that's what the grant was for, was $500,000, but now we don't even have access to that, but we'll work on that, I guess, one step at a time.
That's that's the biggest project we've
Yeah,
had.
why don't we have access
To what?
to what you're referring to?
Well, because Mark was doing the one-stop grant, and he's not here. I'm not a grant writer.
Yeah, okay, so, and the whole project is really going to depend on the design,
Yeah, so that's step one.
yeah.
That's why we needed to put a team together to get that right. Because if we get that wrong, then we end up with a soccer field that's 10 feet too short.
Yeah,
Will someone from the CPC be on that committee too?
No.
No, okay. So I'm just asking.
sure.
All right, so you want that on the agenda next?
Please.
Yeah.
Because we gotta,
Get on.
it's taken us 6 months to get the okay. So now we only have, well, it's a year and a half to do an engineering plan. So we should be good.
Yeah,
And you
But-
have to pick an engineer too, correct?
Well, you'll have to do the RFP and then it goes out to, we have to
Oh.
get bids.
I thought we had a town engineer.
I don't believe so. I know that Zenith gave us the estimate the first time, but I think we have to go out to bid.
Okay.
Okay. I thought he was the town engineer, but maybe, I didn't know
Well, when
if
Ari
he had a
got,
contract with the town or not, I'm
yeah,
not
when
sure.
Ari got the plan for the estimate for Clear Pond Park, he went to somebody else, so
Oh,
excuse me, so I don't know, I
Same
don't
with
think that we do,
Northfields.
Yeah.
so. But it's gonna take more than 2 park people to put that together.
yeah, so there's a project.
It's a big one.
Okay, so we'll put that on the next agenda.
All right, I motion to adjourn at 9:52. 8:52? 8:52.
8:52. A second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All ayes.
Did you say aye?
I didn't, but.